Hey everybody, welcome back to Pardonable Live. I'm your host, David Lilly. You guys know the drill. This is Pardonable Live. We like to have a ton of fun telling jokes on Sunday evening here before the week starts to kind of give you a refresh and all that good stuff. And guys, I hate to tell you, this is super boring week. Nothing ever happened this week, especially not today. Nothing happened, so we're just going to kind of make it up as we go. JK, you guys know I've got all the jokes. I've got a special guest with me tonight. We're going to talk about what just happened, trying to take out our boy, old Trumpsters, and we're going to chat about that. Got some other stuff on the docket if we get to it. But either way, we are going to have a good time. We're going to have such a good time, guys. I'm not even going to pull up my sponsor, which is me. So, but if you want to, you can always go to pardonable.com. Support the podcast, buy music, buy art, buy all that good stuff. You know, I got art for days. Here's the funny thing about me. You guys just think I'm a terrible podcaster with mediocre art. The truth is I'm a mediocre artist with a terrible podcast. That's really what's going down. But anyway, tonight's going to be a fun time. Can't believe what's going on. We're going to tell jokes. I'm going to tell jokes, even though it's somewhat of a somber situation. Somber, or at least it's intense. Let's go with intense. It's very intense. But anyway, before I ramble on, we're going to get to our guest tonight. I have a very good friend of mine. He is the spicy man of freedom. You know him as Noel Olinde, the Cajun Libertarian. What's up, dude?
What's happening, bro?
What's going, dude, man? I've missed you so much. I see you on those Twitter streets all the time, or X streets all the time. We cross paths on some
Nice.
spaces. We have a good time. How you been?
Man, I've been doing kind of chaotically well, right? If you're going to use the brain dead Kamala Harris, or I guess there's a controversy about how you say her name now. I don't know,
No, it's
man. You
not.
put the vowels together with the consonants, where they go. Kamala, whatever. Yeah. It's been a little bit chaotic,
A little
but
bit. A tiny bit.
it's been fantastic. Yeah, a tiny bit. It's been fantastic though. Um, not just in the political realm, but just in personal life, right?
Yeah.
So
Good, good.
it's been good, but it's been chaos, right? So by that I mean the most exclamation point I could put on that is we had a brand new baby, which was always good.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's always going to throw a wrench in
Always.
all of life, but lovely, lovely wrench. It's every second is amazing. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. You know what? You've also have a second baby, that beautiful studio that you got going on. I know I've watched you for years now, but that studio, the background. So I'm a background guy. If I watch a podcast and the background sucks, delete, unsubscribe. But if it's got a good background, I'm all for it. Hence why I've unsubscribed to my own podcast. I don't follow me, but you, I definitely do, dude. I love the background. I love
Appreciate it.
Off the Wire. Um, Digging it. You got to show. It's not like anyone's watching this. They're not like, well, who's this Cajun Libertarian? They're all going like, who's this other guy? Get him off.
No.
But Off the Wire is Tuesdays and Thursdays. What time?
Yeah, yeah. Usually at 7 Central on Tuesdays and Thursdays on X and on YouTube. And I'm a Start a Rumble channel. I'm rebranding the entire situation. And another part of the chaos
Yeah, yeah.
that I was talking about was that we bought a house, and with that house came a giant shed that was already insulated and lighted, and then a she shed for the wife as well.
For
And
her
so I took
podcast. Is that
no,
no?
no, she's never gonna do that. Nah. So I took half of mine, which you're seeing like literally just a quarter, a fraction. And there's a whole another 2/3 of a studio for podcasting and music. And then there's a whole another half of a shop to go that's used for man cave stuff. So I appreciate it very much. So I literally um, built all this OSB, picked all the lights out. I did everything from top to bottom, other than the structure itself already being installed and insulated.
Yeah, dude. I friggin' love it, man. I'm all about having a good something. I don't really like to see podcasters' faces. I like to look at their background. It's way more interesting. Before we go any further, because I want to talk about what happened today. If you didn't know, some guy tried to take out Trump again. But before I go, so this is a thing. I have on my podcast, I have mostly libertarians because they're the only ones that want to hang out with me. You're a libertarian, obviously. It's in the
Very
title.
much.
And I can't be a libertarian because I was told I'm not a real one so many times online. And so I was like, all right, fine. Well, I'm not one. So I'm technically an independent, but I hang with the libertarians. I'm all for, and I can give my long-winded reasons why I'm all for a Trumpster this go around. Didn't vote for him before at all. Only voted in local, technically. It's not like I was like, screw Trump. I'm not voting for it. It was like I just never got around to it that day. Definitely voting for
Right.
Trump this go around. How are you feeling about old Trumpy boy before we talk about them trying to cap him at the knees or
Okay,
ear?
so let me start off with this first. Dude, I'm a card carrying member, a dues paying member of my Libertarian Party of Mississippi. I'm also a I'm a paid member of the LP National Party.
Okay.
I get called a Republican and a grifting Republican and a fake libertarian on a consistent basis,
Yeah, good. Well,
right?
that's good.
I mean, like, don't don't take these people seriously.
I don't.
If you subscribe to some of the base level philosophies of libertarianism, and if you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, it's really an economic philosophy that
Mostly.
we are trying to also implement this cultural change. I'm a big part of that. That's my big play. That's why I have my following. That's why I'm asked to do what I do, and then I do what I do also voluntarily is through the culture, because I think that with libertarianism comes independency. With that comes self responsibility. And I think that if you get to the root cause of a lot of the things that we're dealing with, if you're just slightly moderate or on the far right side, which is what we're all called now, if you're not a progressive leftist to the extreme, you're just far right. So who freaking cares?
Exactly.
Don't worry about their freaking labels. Just understand that what we're dealing with here is something that's incredibly intense, and it needs to be dealt with in a manner that has to be academic and cultural, because you can still maintain your libertarianism, which is an economic philosophy and anti-government philosophy, but you can do these things without having the government involved. And that's what's so frustrating to some of these leftists, is that they don't understand libertarianism at all. They are just authoritarians. They can't comprehend that we can say, yo, look, I'm going to use a great example here, abortion. 100 years ago, you didn't need a bunch of laws that said, don't execute your freaking offspring. That's psychotic, because everybody understood culturally and socially that this was something that was terrible. So you don't need government intervention and all of this stuff. What we need, honestly, first and foremost, if we're going to get back to anything that resembles the freedom of what America stands for, it's got to be the First Amendment, and that we can bully whoever we want and make fun of you for whatever reason. Absolutely no questions asked. And if you want to get mad about it, I don't care.
Yeah, see, I'm with you on that. I think the fourth wing of the government isn't the media. I think it's bullying. I think it's the bullies. I like bringing shame back. But even on the abortion issue with Ron Paul, what's his big thing? It's like we shouldn't make abortion illegal. We should make it unthinkable. And I like that because it's a bit of a Christian
Forgot
ethic.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, well, maybe I am a libertarian, but it only takes 2 seconds for me to post something that might be slightly conservative or considered right wing, for all the libertarians to be like, no, that's not, you're not there, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not. But I still like all my libertarian friends. I'll be in the Libertarian Party if they'll have me. But this go around,
Yeah, what happened?
I can't. Well, here's the thing, I can't vote for our boy Chase
I'm
Oliver.
not. I'm
I
not.
can't do it.
I'm
Okay, so who?
actively campaigning against him.
Okay, so that leaves you one. So you're voting for Kamala? Is that you're endorsing her? Is that? No, I'm just playing.
Well,
You trumping
technically,
it?
I'm a never Trumper, officially. and I voted Libertarian in 2020, and I vowed to vote to write in Ron Paul or
Very cool.
anybody or just Noda. I literally wanted to spend my time in line to go vote and write in somebody that had no chance of winning until bro got shot in the face and stood up like a boss.
No, wait, that was the turning point? That was when the
That was the
tides
turning
turned?
point. The whole 2020 was the worst governance of any president in the history of America. And you can be as pro Trump as you want, y'all, but that's a fact. Bro endorsed all the lockdowns. He printed more money than the country and the world has ever seen. It was an abysmal failure that we wrecked the global economy over a mild cold because dude listened to Anthony freaking Fauci.
It's true. Yeah,
No,
but if you were to take any president in the go back 50 years, any of them, and throw them at the same timestamp, I don't know if they would be much different. I don't think you
I,
could.
and I'm not going to disagree with that
But
whatsoever.
to say he's the worst president that could have happened in 2020 is
That's not.
because he's the only one that he was in 2020.
It was the worst government, but
Yeah,
that does not, despite that, does not refute the fact that it was the worst year or season of governance by any president whatsoever. You can argue Abraham Lincoln because dude was an absolute tyrant
yeah.
in the midst of a civil war. Now, granted, he did inherit a very bad problem, but he made it exponentially worse while being an admitted racist. We just prop this to, okay, we prop him
Yeah.
up as a hero, but the facts around it and the history are just completely distraught. I know you want to say something, but outside of that possibility, yes, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it doesn't matter who the president is, the fact remains that that was the worst governance in history for that season. He should have said no. Under no circumstances you shut the economy down. No, you don't. If people are scared, go home. We deal with the consequences. Those that aren't scared, go to work. We deal with the consequences. But you cannot shut the economy down. Nope.
I'm 100% behind you. I think he was the worst president during 2022. So I'm right there. It was terrible governance, but what you said about Abraham Lincoln, he got inherited, it's just a bad situation and made it worse. I think that we're dealing with that instance right now. The Biden and Kamala thing, they're always like, "Well, we got handed something terrible." You did, and then you made it worse. Like you just made it bad, which we all kind of knew was coming anyway. So it wasn't a very good choice. But this go around, they took a pop shot at our boy, and now you're gonna vote for him. How do you feel about today with the news coming out? They're trying it again. They ain't gonna stop. They ain't never gonna stop.
So let me say this. I would disagree with you. I do not think that it is comparable with what Abraham
Oh
Lincoln
no, 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 no. I'm not
adopted
saying
to.
that.
And I
Well,
also will say that uh, it was some of the stuff in history you can backtrack towards like incompetence, right? Because you didn't have the internet, you didn't have fast track knowledge about these things, but you do now. So what just happened post Trump presidency is not the same. It's
no.
not the same as the gas that was thrown on the fire beforehand because that was relative to that circumstance. Well, this is relative to this circumstance in which you've got lightning speed information and they did it anyway. It's far worse with the Biden Harris, and I don't even call it the Biden administration. That guy's been dead for 4 years.
Yeah.
Where is he? And the only time he sounds coherent is when he's not playing an actor and he puts on a freaking Trump
I was about to say the only
2024
time he
ad
sounds coherent is when he puts on a Trump 2024 ad.
because he wasn't acting. He is dementia riddled, and it gets worse. It's
Yeah.
far worse when he's having to cosplay a character that he was never intended to do, that he was never elected to do. He was forced into that position by garbage human beings, and it shines. It shines badly how much the dementia has him riddled when he's cosplaying an actor instead of just being himself. and then he gets to the scenario where
Yeah.
everybody in the room is being authentic and he's authentic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then what's he do? He pleases the room because despite of all the horrible, and make no mistake, Joe Biden is a horrible freaking human being, just garbage. But he's old, y'all. Okay, he's old.
God,
He's
I hope they say that about me
literally
when I get old. They're like, that David guy, he's a piece of garbage, but he is old. I'm
he
hoping
was
that. Yeah, yeah. He
and
was.
is
He's still around.
probably.
I know it's under contested, but he's still there. He's still putting Trump hats on. He's still
But the
around.
fact remains, the guy is not well.
It's true.
And
True.
it's incredible what they've done to him. And then now, in spite of all that, when he had to step down, right? Forced. He was forced to step down. He was kicked out, and
Yeah.
then goes on and puts a Trump 2024 hat. I had a better an overarching point I was trying to get to, but that's just so incredibly wild. There's nobody that's ever seen anything like that in politics. So it messes up my train of thought. But the fact
Yeah,
remains
man.
is that you're talking about a guy that campaigned for years that Trump was literally Hitler with a background of extreme MAGAs at a State of a Union address with the military behind him, talking about how much of a threat he is. But now he's just almost all of a sudden permissible to wear the literal
Yeah, but
attire of the opponent.
well, see, this is what, and this is the great, because the episode's titled "Par for the Course," because this isn't anything we've seen
That's
before, but
good.
it feels a par for the course. You guys like that because of the shooting at the golf course. Anyway, I hate the fact that I just had to explain the title because that always
My
ruins the
bad.
joke. But we got probably a lot of libertarians listening. They're autistic. They might not pick up on the comedy, so it's fair. The thing about that, it's par for the course, but for Democrats, but it's something we've never seen before. But it's almost something that we can pinpoint. Be like, well, this makes sense. So now when you watch, because I know the debate seems like it was 4 months ago, and I'm not talking about the Biden debate. That seems like 6 years. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
Kamala versus Trump that happened last Tuesday. That seems like that was a month ago because things constantly keep happening. But even that, where you noticed how the moderators came out and they were pretty much, I mean, let's be honest, they were doing what they should have done for Biden, but they didn't, which is just completely pile on Trump 3 versus 1. And I know that seems like a
Why?
right-wing cope, but even me as somewhat independent, I was like, oh no, it definitely seems like it's off kilter. They definitely want Kamala
I'm
to
I,
win this. What you got?
I'm somebody that's never voted for Trump. I want to ask you.
What
I've
you got?
never to the audience. I've never voted for Trump. Your thoughts on that debate and the moderation?
All right, so here's when it first. So I didn't watch the debate live. I actually just went to the internet to see what everyone else was saying. I thought the debate was, it wasn't as funny as I was hoping. Like there was some funny
Fair.
meme, and so when I go to these things like the Biden one, I was like, this is gold. Like I will never forget this debate. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But this one wasn't as funny. And all the major talking points that came out, the thing I love about the debates is because I kind of knew, like, we're not like on Pardon with Life, all we do is we talk about how crappy the media is and how they lie to you. Like, it's the one thing I hate the most. Like, politicians,
That's
I
what I was
get it.
getting.
You should know that. But the media on Pardon with Live, the one thing we always go is like, all right, let's just talk about what kind of clowns they are. And so we laugh at them because they're clowns and they're jokes. So I knew this was coming. But what we all said at the Biden debate was, wait, why are they doing, like, why didn't they help him out? Because we're so used to it. They hate Trump. Why didn't they help him? And now we get to see why and it makes me wonder. It's like, well, they probably knew they were going to oust him at the debate. Before the debate happened, they were like, yeah, we're probably going to kick this guy out anyway. So don't help him, moderators. And then now that ABC's on it, they're like, yeah, we're going to fact check Trump, which is fine. That's cool. We all expect it. And they're not going to fact check Kamala. So everything about the debate was exactly how I would have expected it. The only thing I'm going to say this. The only thing that disappoints me the most about the debate, and I'm voting for Trump. I love Trump. I think he's hilarious. I think he's the biggest middle finger to the state that we can ever think of, and I was all for it. Like, I love the fact that he went to the LNC. I was all for Trump being there. I'm loving it. So I'm on the
Same.
Trump. I'm on the Trump train, and I'm ready to go down this track. But the thing about Trump is, dude, I could have take all of the libertarian podcasters we know on the internet, put them in a giant group, and blindfold yourself, throw a rock, and hit one of them. Any one of them would have done a better job than Trump at that debate. Literally any of them. Any of them. You could have picked me. I would have done a better job. And so that was my thing.
Really?
No, I probably wouldn't
Really?
have done a good job. No, but I think any I think any
No,
other
no, no. The overarching concept is that Trump was terrible.
No, Trump was Trump. I'm just saying if Trump didn't take any swings. And from what I see on libertarian podcasters, they already have the swings backed up. So when they go into something, they're already ready. They're
Of
on their platform,
course.
but they've also, they've done the research.
But
They kind
Trump's
of
not
know
a
what's going to
libertarian.
happen. My point exactly. And that's my point. But if I'm voting for Trump because I think he's great at certain things. What I don't think he's good at is debating. I just don't think he's a good debater.
I think
Which is
he's
fine.
great.
Okay, explain to
Uh,
me. You think he's a great debater?
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well,
tell me.
okay. So, look, several points here. He debates in a different manner that's ever been seen, and it's really stylish. It's very unique, and it's impossible to combat unless you're on
Well,
a level that Trump is when it comes to hurling zingers. Okay, that stuff people legitimately underestimate how much the zingers matter. Okay,
true.
and I'll get to the underlying point, and I'll lay a couple of other things too. Okay, give me a second.
Sure.
Uh, the biggest issue that know for a fact that Trump won that debate is because he was unhinged. He was unpredictable, unhinged,
Okay.
and not scripted. Kamala Harris was your standard freaking garbage rhetoric, memorized lines prepared for this or that, never answered any real questions, just your polished. And this is where people get messed up. I believe this. And they think that polished, disciplined performance was a win just because Trump was unhinged and authentic. When we have entered a new style of politics in which
I agree.
there's a reason President Trump got elected, and it was specifically because he was not a polished politician. He
I
was
agree.
unadulterated, authentic, bang, 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 pooped out zingers. He
Yeah, it's
did that
true.
again.
I would
It,
not as
it
much as he normally does. That's my point. Is like I expected more, but it felt like he was holding back. It did, and you could tell he got mad about the rally thing. And I was like, but he did feel like his closing statement was really good, and there were some parts that he did get some good zingers in there. Look,
yes.
if you were to ask me, like, well, who do you think won, Kamala or Trump? You're like, well, Trump obviously won because Kamala's insufferable. But if you take away the
He's
insufferable part, she definitely had script, like she was well rehearsed, and you can't
nobody
rehearse
likes that.
Trump. No, that was my point. So how are we comparing him to? But either way, Kamala's awful person in general. Um, and to be honest, man, I
It
go
was
back to
fine.
this. Here's the thing, and this is why I agree with you that Trump won, but I look at it differently because everyone keeps talking like, well, it's it was Biden and now it's Kamala, but I don't think Trump's running against Kamala. Trump's running against the machine, like just the
Yes.
machine. She's just an avatar. And so when everyone's like,
That
well, Kamala's a communist, I'm like, sure, maybe, but the machine is like destruction in general. And so when every time like I love the swings on Kamala for like her background or whatever, or her totally like gun control or price gouge, like all that. That's great, but she doesn't actually have thoughts. She's literally being puppeted by the machine that plucked Joe Biden out and put her down. And so
100%.
yeah, and so that's only where I come to. But again, and I now what I was thinking about as you were talking, I was going through my Rolodex of libertarian podcasters. I was like, no, I wouldn't want that one. I wouldn't want that one. And I was like, well, maybe it's just the ones that don't put boots on their heads. We'll push them out of there. And
They're not
then maybe.
libertarians.
Well, I'm not a libertarian, so I guess I can say that. I can.
But
It takes one to know one.
it,
So,
and look, we can go down the rabbit hole of etymology, and what is or isn't a libertarian. Everybody's going to have their own definition. I get mocked and hit up relentlessly because I won't support kids being butchered via the medical industry because they're confused and just need counseling, right? I'm what? What do you do? It's just
Yeah.
I don't
Sorry.
care about your judgments at this point. If
I've
you're
seen what you.
literally going to criticize me because I'm standing up for innocent children, well then, yeah, I really don't care what label you have to say. You
Yeah.
know, I'm
It's that
the
Rick and Morty thing. I've seen what you cheer for. Your boos mean nothing, and that's kind of
right.
how where I'm at. And every time someone, it doesn't. It either way, it doesn't matter because we're gonna pull a lefty and we're just gonna redefine the term libertarian, and it's us now. We're the kings of libertarianism, because we can redefine a woman. Why not just redefine what libertarianism is? Um, I'm
It's
all.
not difficult.
It's really not. The second Trump attempt. What do you think's going to happen now? What do you think's going on actually? What do you think is where are we at, dude? What is happening?
You mean specifically like what's going on in this atmosphere right now, and what does the November election look like?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me what you what after this what happened today? What happened before cuz we saw the first attempt just kind of get wiped under the rug and the only thing people could talk about was I don't know. I don't know what was happening at the time, but we forgot about that real quick. And now there's the second one. What's the chances of this one sticking around? Right. And
You want my
so
honest answer?
I want your honest answer. What's going down?
I don't think they're ever going to let that dude back in the White House, and I think chaos is about to ensue.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you. I'm wondering about that. You for real. So you think one percentage wise, are you black pilled or are you white pilled? I guess black pilled would be the
I'm an Oreo.
you're an Oreo, a bit of
Yep,
both. Okay.
yep. I think my honest answer is what like I talk about with my wife.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is at best a speed bump.
Yeah. I can see
I
that.
think conservatism, I think Michael Malice nailed it. Conservatism is just the speed bump to progress. Conservatives are just doing the
Yeah.
the speed limit
That's
versus
true.
progressives, and I think that the black pill is even if Trump gets elected, and even if I don't vote for Trump, I've never voted for Trump. I swore I never would, but I might now because of the
Yeah.
getting shot in the face and standing up. But it doesn't matter if I vote for Trump or not. I live in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Trump is going to win this state, and he will never have to step foot in it. Why should he?
Yeah.
He's going to win this state. Okay. So whether I vote for Trump or not is regardless. What can Trump do in the final 4 years outside of setting up the GOP to look something that would represent the LP?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think he's doing that. However, if we're being honest, and we're being honest, right?
No, I'm lying the whole time. No, no. Yeah. Totally being honest.
um, we let in millions of people that have no
Yeah.
loyalty to this country.
It's true.
I do. Yeah. I
But you
I
are an
don't know
awful
what you do with
libertarian with your
that.
closed borders and your anti
I
children
mean, you can have
sacrifice. That's
you
good for you.
can you can vet people at the border and still let them have freedom of movement.
True.
And no, I'm not an open borders libertarian. I'm absolutely a private property libertarian.
Yeah. Wild how
However,
that still works out.
there's no private property on the border. We somehow just amazingly just abandon the idea of private property on the border and let the government take control over all the border. So now what you have to let them do, you have to make them do it
Yeah.
because you abandon what we were supposed to be doing. We abandon, and this is generation span, of course, right? This is uh, politicians being politicians and opportunistic, and we, the people, not paying attention. And so now we have a bunch of border land that's quote unquote owned by the government. Make that make sense. How does the government own any land whatsoever? But they do. So now we have to deal with it. And you're a psychopath if you think it shouldn't be dealt with at that border controlled by certain people. I would say the military. Why do I have military members, brothers and sisters? I'm a veteran in Germany and France. Like, yo, they can take care of themselves. Put them people on the border and vet.
Well,
You cannot recover from millions of people.
all right. Well,
Millions.
here's the thing. You're proving my point, though. You would have done a
Yep.
better job at the debate against Kamala. Let's just be honest. You would have done a better job. Now, here's all right. So, black pill aside, doomsday black pill. He's
Oh, I
just
forgot the white pill. My bad.
no. I'm going to give you my white pill, and you can tell me what you think about it. My wife, because this is funny because you were just talking to your wife. I was talking to my wife today as well, and she's on the same wavelength as being like, they're not going to let him in, are they? Like they're not going to let this happen. I mean, look what they're doing, and I mean, it is a common
Promoting it.
trope. Well, yeah, well, there's a common trope of being like, if they had it in the bag, they wouldn't be trying so hard with the propaganda. And I'm a little bit shaky on that because at least they have to make sure the American people think it is legit. So that's my
I
view of the
agree.
propaganda is. But here's my white pill. This is where I step, and this is what I told her. Sure, Trump might not make it in. And if he does, is it going to solve everything? Maybe not. But what I do see, and what I've always said about Trump, which I wish I would have voted for him in 2020, in 2016, but I didn't. I wish I would have. Because the one thing I love about Trump is if I could have, there's two things. One of them, he makes the media eat themselves. Like they cannot help but lie because they don't really have much, but they got to do it. And I love making fun of the media. I want to
his
see
greatest
how,
achievement.
yeah, I want to see how low they can go. Like I want to see them grovel
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just being like, I mean, you think they're bad now. Just wait. If Trump makes it in, give it another 4 years, MSM embassy will just be, I mean, they'll be tubining everywhere. They're not going to be able to take it. It's gonna blow their minds. Anyway, I want to see
For
that. I
those
want
of
to,
you that don't know, go look up the
yeah,
Tubin
tubing.
controversy. That's great.
I want
Jeffrey
to see.
Tubin.
Yeah, I always forget his last name because all I can think of, like, what a great last name, Tubin, to
Tubin.
go with this story. Anyway,
Because yeah.
that's the one. But the other thing is, and I told her this, I was like, never before have we had a president. She was like, well, they're not going to let them. They choose who, it's the machine. Like everything's the same. I was like, it has been,
Sure.
except for now. It doesn't seem that way because it seems like he's woken up everybody to like, this is the machine. Like to see RFK. I'm not a fan of RFK, but I am a fan of what he's doing now. Like I'm a fan of his actions for sure. I mean, I don't hate RFK. I was never on the RFK train. Tulsi Gabbard, I was like, yeah, she's all right. But her coming up, Brett Weinstein, Angela McArdle's doing the resistance thing. We'll talk about that in a minute. Vivek, who's kind of a libertarian. If we really analyze what he talks about, I mean,
Vivek is the best person on national TV by far. He's the best person. He is, and I've been blowing smoke up his butthole for a long time. I use that term loosely.
Oh, you have
right?
too.
Because,
okay, me too. We both.
Vivek Ramaswamy is the fact that he is not the vice presidential nominee kind of speaks to where we are as an American republic.
Yeah.
In fact, I fully endorsed him to be the president because to be the GOP nominee when he was running, fully endorsed and he retweeted it.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. It's a problem. Okay. And we're talking right now to the conservatives. And I think this is much more of a boomer situation than it is.
It always is. Let's be
our
honest.
generation, like it always is. Oh my! I could just go off.
We don't even need that. We have to take a I know.
The boomers ruined everything.
Hour. Dude, that needs a whole hour.
But getting back, yes, it needs multiple hours my wife is sick of me talking about the boomers. And my dad's coming around. Please, for the love of God, if you're a boomer and watching this, just give us a chance. I promise you. Ugh. I'm an elder millennial, okay? I'm 41. I got 4 kids. I just bought my first house. Okay. So
Please don't ruin this. Yeah.
I forgot where I was going, but I'll make this point
I
and
brought up
land, and then
Vivek.
you.
I
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
up Vivek, and you were
I
talking
was
about how
gonna
much
go.
you love him.
Well, no, he's great though. So
Okay.
I don't love him, but I
I
probably
do.
love him a little.
A little bit. I'll give him a little bit. Here's
And if people find them disingenuous, that's the part where I don't understand. Although I can get a little bit of it because this is politics and they're actors.
right.
But if you watch this guy, like Man on the Street interviews, Vivek Ramaswamy, he crushes them.
Yeah.
He invites everyone in. Like he wants everyone in. He's absolutely the future. It's an abomination, in my opinion, that he is not more of a star than he already is. I don't know that it's because he's Indian, but
It is.
I
It
think
is. Everyone loves
it
everyone loves
might
him
be.
only because he's Indian. All his
Right,
ideas are garbage, but he's an Indian, so we love him. Well, that's what I hear from the Kamala side. But
right.
it means a lot to them. I don't know why, but it does. Here's my point. My white pill of all white pills. Even Elon is coming out. All of these
Yeah.
people. Here's my problem. If you were like David, you shouldn't vote for Trump. I'm like, but all the people I think are intellectually honest to at least some percentage, they're all on the Trump train. So how do I do that? And then we have all the people I think are completely disingenuous and intellectually dishonest voting for Kamala. You got like Dick Cheney, all the Cheneys. You got the Clintons, the Obamas. Like they're all coming out for Kamala. So this one's easy. But here's the fun thing: had something happened to Trump, and everyone's like, "Well, Trump's the leader of the MAGA movement." I don't know if that's actually true. I think the white pill that I have is I don't think the MAGA, Maha, whatever this thing is, this resistance against the machine, I don't think it's going anywhere. And if anybody is sitting on the fence, like, well, I'm not really serious about it. Come November 5th, we're either gonna see change with all the people that I think would be great in the cabinet because Trump is Trump. Like that's fine, but Elon, but like RFK, Vivek, Angela has been promised a libertarian in the cabinet. Like it just, I mean, you just take 5% of the things that I could imagine would be nice. I'd take that over whatever else would be from the other side. So my big white pill is even if he doesn't win, everyone's already woken up that it's us versus the machine. And I'm fine with that. If I can just I've gotten that already, so I've already won. I've already won, dude. Everyone, even the Democrats that are leaving, understand that the media was a sham. Like even the debate was a sham. They all wake up. The only people on the left side are the people in charge and the NPCs that have followed them. That's it, dude. And that is enough for me. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I don't care I don't care if RFK's a Democrat. I don't care if Brett Weinstein's a Democrat. I don't care anything. I just love the fact that these people are going, there's a giant machine that's controlling everything. And we don't like that. I'm like, fine, we won. We've already won. We've already won.
How much? How much do you think that they've done that on purpose?
0%. And this is why I can tell you why. Oh, what do you mean? The coalition behind Elon and all them?
No, I mean, how much do you think that? And I've got like several layers of points here, but I'm gonna ask you on its face. How much do you think that the establishment, the Democrat Uniparty Republican, the Republicans,
Yeah, the Demopublicans. Yeah,
the Republicrats,
yeah, yeah.
the Uniparty, how much control do you think that they have, and how much do you think that they can stop somebody like Trump?
Stop them from what? Because they've already failed, and not in just the attempts. I'm saying they've already. If you were to stop Trump and you were the Uniparty, you would have done it. You would have done it in 2020 because that was your open shot. But the fact that you
They
thought you'd
did.
won, no, 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 no. They beat Trump, but they continue to push and lie to the public. I mean, just think about the Biden thing. They could have easily 2 years ago been like, hey, Biden is a bit Alzheimer-ish. We're going to kick him off. Kamala's going to come in, and then maybe we'll do a primary. Maybe the Democratic primary would have elected a Nikki Haley. Maybe we could have seen that, but they should have done it before. Instead of they stood 2 toes down and said the American people are idiots. We think they're dumb, and we think we can get away with whatever we want. So we're just going to keep pushing. We're going to boil the pot with the frogs in it
Right.
as fast as possible. And I think that's where they missed
Exactly.
out. They could have took the 2020 win and pulled it back to return to normal, but they refused to return to
Why?
normal because
Why would they?
I mean, the funny thing is, dude, Kamala's slogan is we're not going back, dude. All I want to do is go back. I just want to go back. Like, that seems like the American thing. I want to go back to where I could afford groceries again.
I just think that we're fundamentally missing the main concept, and
What
that's
is it?
it's intentional.
Well, no, I think
This
it
isn't
is.
an accident. They're spitting in our faces. They're
Yeah.
telling you what they in you can go down the rabbit hole of all the conspiracy theories and be like, okay, if you're involved in the occult, like the occult with an
Yeah, yeah,
O,
yeah. Oh, I know.
cult,
Yeah, yeah.
occult, they have to tell you what they're doing. Okay, this is
It's part of their
way down the rabbit
spellcasting.
hole. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
they have to give you tips and say they're doing this thing. And so you can absolutely relate it to that because they're just spitting in your face. They're telling all of us it doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter what you think this American culture and American dream and structure of society should look like. We're going to do what we want to do. And while they do it, they not only defend themselves, they gaslight the F out of you
Yeah.
and telling you that they're completely opposite. It's for your freedoms.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
for your joy.
Yeah,
It's
right? Aren't you joyful?
psychotic.
Well, that's my point though, because if it was working, it would have worked. We would continue to have the uniparty, but for some reason, we're seeing a complete sea change of how America thinks about politics, and that's my favorite thing about the populism thing that we have going on, where they're like all these Americans, these Democrats and Republicans and Libertarians, are all coming together under, and that's my point. It's like I'm not coming together because I think Trump is the Messiah. I'm coming together because all of the people that seem to be for freedom are all on one side, while all the people who seem to just want to blow up kids across seas, they're all on one side. And just those two factors alone can be like, well, this is an easy one. It's not complicated. And so, as far as if they were to take Trump out today, I don't see this train stopping. I don't see it stopping. The only way they could do it is all of a sudden everybody in that movement, the MAGA Maha movement, whatever that is, they all look to another person to take their spot and them being disingenuous. But I don't think it works that way anymore. I think these are critical thinkers. These are people that actually think, and they
I
might
don't
be dumb on one topic, but they're not dumb in general. And so I don't think you can. Here's the thing: you can always wake up an NPC, but you can't take that blue pill back. You can't just be like, well, I've seen the dark side. No, I mean, you can, but I don't think people, once they've seen this, I don't think they can all of a sudden be like, no, 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 the machine's not real. It's the government's here to help us. I don't think you come back, dude. I don't think you do.
that's not possible. Okay, you went down a rabbit hole that I love personally, and we went way off course here,
We're
but I'm
always
going to
off course.
address it.
Let's
No,
go.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to address it because I've talked about this extensively, and I've explained this in great detail, and even to my wife, and she knows and she appreciates it. I do not give my wife all of the information that I have politically.
Right? Yeah.
I don't give the vast majority of the public audience that I've been so blessed in Jesus' name to have acquired that information. I think there's a valid, substantive point when Jordan Peterson says, if you stare into, Lex Friedman was
Yeah.
interviewing Jordan Peterson, and he was talking about staring into the abyss. And Jordan says, if you stare into it long enough, you'll see the other side.
No, stare
And
back
that's
at you.
absolute. It'll stare back at you at first, but you'll see the other
Oh, I
side.
didn't see that. Oh, for real? Oh,
Yes,
the continuum.
eventually, if you get through and you penetrate long enough, then you can see the forest through the trees,
Nice.
right? And I think that's extremely valid. I just don't think that most people are equipped or even they don't even desire to stare into the abyss, because once you stare into that abyss and it looks right back at you, there's no going back. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
There's no going back, y'all. There is zero turn of 180 degrees. You can't.
Yeah. No, I
Once
agree.
you see it, it is gonna. I don't want to be absolutist here, but almost always, once you stare into that political abyss of what's actually going on, you kind of only have two options. And that's either to take it head on or dive into reclusivism
Yeah.
and just bury your head. Now, there's a third option. You can do this is what we're trying to do, being reclusive and harvesting water,
Right. Self self
growing food, self-sufficiency,
self-sufficiency.
growing
Yeah.
food, and then also trying to attack this thing head on, because here's my white pill. Oh, thank
I
you,
want to hear it.
Jesus, for bringing it
Let's
back.
go white. Let's
Um,
get white pilled.
the biggest white pill is that you have autonomy over your destination, despite what quote unquote authority that literally makes up less than 1% is trying to tell you to do. The
Yeah.
white pill is that we can have these conversations and we can wake people up,
That's
and they
right.
can choose the two directions. And the best direction, and I believe the prominent direction that Americans would take, would be the road to, okay, I have this information that sucks. I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to sit around and let the suck dominate. I'm going to figure out something that I can do to dominate the suck. And that's like the most basic way I could put it,
No, it's
right?
perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, just do whatever you can to dominate the suck. I mean, that's kind of what this entire live thing is. What I do. We just do whatever we can to dominate the suck. Because I mean, what am I going to do other than be self-sufficient? All I can do is get on the internet and make fun of Morning Joe. And to me, that's a noble cause. I'm all for it. Um, I mean, I am. It is all for it.
That's
Speaking of
great.
par for the course, dude. So everything's the media is going to lie. They're going to continue lying. If Kamala gets in office, they're going to continue lying. Everything's par for the course. It's all the same. It's all set up. We all know it. I want to show you this thing. So here's another thing. This is one thing I want to get your opinion on, because you're a bit of a memester yourself. And I want to. We're going to move into this real quick, but I want to show you this video. So
Okay.
this thing was made by like a Democratic socialist. I can't quite confirm that, so you're just gonna have to take my word off. If I'm lying, I'm crying or whatever that thing. I don't know, but apparently it is. And they made it because they hate Trump and they just hate this guy. So like, we're gonna make this video, and it's gonna make all these Trumpsters and MAGA people so mad. And then here's this. So let's check this out real quick.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
All right, I just want to put that in there, dude. Dude, why can't the left meme? Why are they so bad at memeing?
Because they're
Even when
so
they meme,
bitter.
They do it, and it's funny because it's so terrible. That was actually talented, but they're like, look how dumb these people are. What they're eating. And it's like, no, that's a
And then
banger.
we stole it.
Yeah, and
And
we
then
said,
everybody stole it and made fun and had a great time. The reason the left can't meme is because they're bittered.
is that what it
That's
is? Bitterness.
it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just bitter. That's all it is. There is no humor. So that's why you get a leftist meme that is freaking 1 mile long with more letters than you could absolutely count with a freaking calculator. They're bitter.
That's
They
a good
don't
point.
know humor. They can't have humor in life because to be a leftist in 2024 means everything has to be negative. There is no joy. And the only joy that you can possibly find when being a progressive leftist in 2024 is just the success of something, some demise
Yeah, yeah.
of someone else, or just the own congratulatory atmosphere of you proving that everything sucks.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
it. To a
It's
leftist,
bitterness.
everything sucks. The whole world is just terrible. So you can't meme if you have no joy. There's the answer.
I love it, dude. Yeah, actually, I think that the fact that you brought up joy is great because it's a whole nother thing. So I'm gonna give you my little quick because I think you're spot on. I personally think, tell me what you think. I might be wrong about this. I think I think they can't mean because they have no sense of humor because I think sense of humor is intrinsically tied to common sense. The only way you can be funny is if
Also
you
true.
know what's common sense and real, because every joke has a tad bit of truth to it, and so you have to understand that. But if you don't understand truth, no common sense, have the inability to have real humor. But I actually like the bitterness one and the joy one. I think you're right about this. So, speaking of leftists and not having joy, I want to pull up one thing
Uh,
because go ahead. No, we don't
before
even.
you go, no, before you go there, I want to actually double down on your point,
All right,
and
let's
that
go. We'll talk about me the whole time if we want.
no, no,
Talk
no.
about my points. I'd like to hear this.
Yes, you made a phenomenal point in that when you're dealing with comedy, comedy requires a certain level of intelligence. My wife and I are phenomenal freaking stand-up comic fans.
Yeah,
My favorite show of all time is Kill Tony with
oh,
Tony
I love it.
Hinchcliffe, who's a brilliant genius.
Yeah, yeah.
A couple of my favorite stand-up comics are Tom Segura,
Yes,
Dave Chappelle, Cat
yes,
Williams, and Shane Gillis, many
love
others.
them.
Comedy requires intelligence. Intelligence requires a balance in which you can associate certain things and be okay with them, even when it's offensive to you.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I
left does
totally
not
agree.
possess that.
They don't. They don't
They
have it.
don't possess that.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it- that's why, and I've said this, and this is the main driving point before you get this, and I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
Um,
I'd rather talk about this than anything else. I'm down with sticking around here.
the biggest thing is comics. This is what will drive us back together.
I agree.
And I plant every bone and stake into the ground that the best way to bring this country together will be racist jokes.
I,
I'm
you know
dead
what?
set on it.
I think you're, that actually might be it, man. That might be a good one. Or at
It's
least
worked like gangbusters on these
offensive jokes in
shows.
general. It does. Technically it does.
Offensive jokes. The worst people will get offended and go crawl into their garbage freaking pit that they deserve to live
Reddit.
in anyway.
They'll go back and crawl to Reddit. That's where they go.
Well, that's why
Garbage
probably
pit.
why I
Yeah.
don't have Reddit.
Yeah, me neither. No, I'm
Yeah,
with you
and
on
the
that, man.
best
I'm
people
with you.
will rise to the top and say, "We aren't going to stand for this nonsense anymore. We're all one people. We're going to make fun of everybody. We're going to have fun. We're one American body, and we can succeed together." And I truly believe that the faster we embrace racist comedy. I know it sounds crazy.
I think it sounds genius.
No.
Yeah.
But the faster we do it, the faster we heal. And also, by the way, that will get Donald Trump elected.
Racist comedy.
Yes.
Maybe. I think it will.
Because the blacks love it.
It's true.
Everybody's just so scared to say it.
Well, I think I love the fact, set aside when he did that interview at that black journalism thing, I love the fact that there was no pandering whatsoever. And for everyone to be like, Trump's a panderer, how come he doesn't put on an accent when every other politician seems to want to code switch every time they're talking to a particular group? Trump's the only one
He
who
don't
doesn't.
care.
He don't care.
Yeah.
So I
It's
think it
just
works
him.
out great. Yeah. I think and me and my wife were talking about this one as well. She's like, it's so dismal, like it's getting bad. And I told everybody on the podcast like months ago, I was like, guys, it's gonna get rough. It's only, and I see you post that meme all the time. It's like, remember when I told you it was gonna get bad? It's getting bad. Yeah. And it's only gonna get worse. I was like, but if you think about it, the memes, she was like, how do people stay online all the day? I was like, dude, the memes are fire. Like it makes it fun. Like, all right, so it's awful, but it takes all the bad stuff and it takes all the bad feelings and makes them good feelings, because there's funny people out there in the middle of the collapse of American society. There's people out there memeing, and to me that gives me hope. I feel like we've already won. And then it makes me think, like, on the flip reverse, if you're on the left and you're just a progressive lefty, you lost way back because you can't even laugh, bro. You can't even laugh at a funny frog.
Everybody hates them. Everybody hates them.
It's true. I mean,
and they control the Democrat Party.
Yeah. Well, that's because
everybody hates them, and they control the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Which should tell you everything about this upcoming election. Either it's a landslide victory or ain't nobody buying it.
Bro,
I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to say it.
I kind of double thought that at 2020, I was like, yeah, that's definitely stolen, but it's not like they're going to prove it anyway. So it's not like I've shouted about it. But to me, I was like, look at the graph with the little jump. I was like, who cares? If it's stolen or not, we're not playing you're not playing your boomer grandpa's politics anymore. So who cares if they stole it? We got to do something better this time around. And so if they steal it again, I'm not worried about if Trump, this is his last run. If you don't make it, that's cool. I got the memers. I've got all the smart people. I've got all the comedians and all the people that I want to hang around. They're all on one side. And then everybody who's just insufferable is on the other. And if I don't got to deal with that, that's cool. I'll see you again in the next 4 years. If you think the memes are fire now, give me another 4 years of Kamala. Watch this. And that's where I'm like, there is hope. There is hope everlasting. And that's
Have you seen what's been going on in the UK?
We're just posting memes will get you locked up.
Right.
Yeah, dude, you would
so
have been
you may not get to post
ago.
fire memes over the next 4 years.
Dude, I will mail them to you.
Kamala.
I'll put them in an envelope and I'll mail them to you. That's how we're going to be. No, dude, we haven't lost the battleground of the internet yet. Until America decides to kick, which we could, to be honest, if Kamala, dude, there's a possibility we lose X. You know what? I'm going to stick by, there is a possibility it all goes down and it's awful, but I'm going to stick by my Jeff Goldblum and life finds a way. And I'm going to go with that one about, get my Jurassic Park reference.
Okay. But yeah,
so I think we'll find a way.
And you're right. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely. We will. But what does that pathway that we traverse look like?
Looks hard. Looks like a lot of work.
Right. What if we can do something to prevent or even slow that down? I have a wife and 4 kids. Yeah, okay. I'm not interested in my big white pill was if Kamala gets elected, then we just rip the effing Band-Aid off. Right? Let it gush. Let the blood flow.
Yeah.
From the ripping of the Band-Aid. And then we can recover as a people in the manner that you talk about.
Yeah.
Being united and underground and grow. But what can we do to prevent or slow it? I don't think it's preventable. If you read the back of the Bible, it's not preventable.
It's not. Well, that part's not. But if you continue to read the back of the Bible, we win. So
And we already have, actually.
exactly. That's kind of my
Correct.
point, man. I
But
want to
what do
bring
we
up.
do?
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna bring up one comment. We're gonna look at this rule because it's backing up exactly what you're saying right here. This is coming from restricted on YouTube. If you think there's hope everlasting, then you have a house, a job, and upward mobility, and a family. This is the last chance for most millennial men to have any of these. She. I don't know. Restricted's not wrong on that, and that despair thing, that sadness, like that. I was having a conversation with a political friend, a guy who runs campaigns. He's always in the thing. He's like, you know what, the one thing that turns, tell me what you think about this. He goes, you know, the one thing that turns out voters is excitement. And I think that's why Kamala's pushing that. And I pushed back on him. I said, no, that's not the only thing that turns voters out. I said, if you take that excitement and you put it on a face of a coin, if you flip that coin, desperation, that will drive a ton of voters. And I think that's what we have right now. So restricted's not wrong. My problem is I'm desperate. I'm with you. Like, you don't have to convince me to vote for Trump. I'm already voting for him. Number one, and I'm telling I freaking run a live podcast telling people to vote for Trump. Like, that's just, I'm doing the Lord's work. Dadgummit. And so I'm all for it. I'm for your family. I'm for my family. I'm for a better future. But what I will not do is I will not let the machine and its campaign steal my joy ever. And so I will meme with a smile all the way to the end if I have to. They will not take my authentic joy that I have through their propaganda and their lies and them trying to take my boy Trump out. They're not going to take it from me. And so I'm my hope everlasting is technically in Jesus. But I'm just telling you, I will go vote with a smile on my face in desperation, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, no, absolutely. It makes sense for sure. My big deal is you're not wrong. And I'm not encouraging anyone to vote for
I
any
am.
certain person.
I am.
I
Vote
know
Trump.
you are. Uh, um, I don't think that. Actually, I know that voting will not fix what
No,
is
no,
coming down
absolutely
the
not.
road. So you vote who you want to vote for. And if you're in a purple state, yo, you got big decisions to make. If you're in a deep red state like I am, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Go do cartwheels through the freaking election center. It doesn't really matter. My big deal is that we aren't voting our way out of this.
No,
And
no.
so I think the biggest and most important issue are a handful of things. I'll start. Number one is that you become self-proficient.
Yeah,
You grow your
self-sufficient
own food. Yep.
always.
Get your own water. Get your own food. Stock ammo. Be smart. And these things are not just for some sort of world-breaking governmental collapse. It just might be for a hurricane or some other natural disaster. Be prepared.
Always.
Okay. And then the next thing I would say 100% is local, 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 local. The people that rain down the most authoritarian and tyrannical injustices on your life are the people that are in your own city. They're
Yeah.
your governors, they're your mayors, they're your city council, they're your sheriff. Those are the people we've seen in pockets of the country where it doesn't really matter who the president is. If you've got a great state attorney general and some good sheriffs and good mayors and governors and city councils, then you're going to protect your town.
Yeah.
And the fact there's really a proven case right now going on where there's an abysmal failure. Forget Chicago, which is the obvious to go to, but Springfield, Ohio,
Yeah.
which has been an abysmal failure on local government. And look what they're going through. So
Are you?
that would be the biggest white pill for
Yeah.
sure, is that you have the power. Go to Spike Cohen. You have the power.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good plug. Yeah. Actually, go to youarethepower.com. It's Spike Cohen's website, right? It's .com, not
Yep.
.org, right? Yeah. That's what I thought.
You're the power.com.
And so
I
one,
think it's yeah.
self-sufficiency, vote local, And was there a third or no?
There's always a third.
Let's pray to Jesus.
Well, that's the number one, is make sure that you're right with God and do and be who he wants you to be, and live in that moment. Live in
Yeah.
the moment of who, knowing that this is God wanting you to do this thing. Embrace that, amplify that,
Yeah.
and just make sure that everything that you do is based on the kingdom of God and bringing that kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah, you nailed that last part.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot. There's a lot, but that's the biggest one for sure.
Well, I think you're I'm gonna back you up on that. I think you're 100% correct. I think you're not gonna vote your way out of this. Like it would be ridiculous to think that was the max of your responsibility. But what you just said, you're even just those 3 points alone, they all involve personal responsibility. I mean, it's kind of the libertarian creed. Like, be responsible for yourself. That's the only way you get freedom. As soon as you give responsibility up, the government snatches it along with your freedoms. And so you're not going to vote your way out of this. All you can do is be responsible and be as far away from having to rely on the government as possible. And you do that by voting local. You do that by being self-sufficient. And most of all, you do it by having a higher faith in the government. Because if you ain't got God, and it's a power hierarchy, the only person you can look to get your rights or, your advantage to life, the only person you can pray to if you're a demon worshiping lefty is the government. And so why not? Anyway, dude, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me, dude. I love having you on. I love everything. I love your background most. I'm a bit jealous of that, but I'm praying that jealousy away. I got this one clip, man. I want to watch this. This is
Yeah.
my other white pill. It's kind of long, but it's because I kept bringing up Brett Weinstein. I want to get your thoughts on this because I think, to be honestly, I think we're doing the most work out of everybody out here. So let's take a look at this clip. I might have to change it up. Hold on.
Traps about this thing that we're up against is not, it is playing a very sophisticated game. And it has learned the lesson that what happens out in social media space and podcast space and all of that,
I don't know what that's about.
Very important. It learned the lesson of COVID, where it didn't think it was important, and then it turned out that what we did out here in pirate radio, effectively, was able to upend their garbage narrative and wake people up. In the last few days, we've seen acknowledgement that it is virtually certain that the virus emerged from the Wuhan Institute. It's no secret that people are widely injured by these vaccines. We can debate about how much.
In the debate, Harris claimed that Trump being in bed with China kept the world from recognizing the origins. Like, that was quite a moment.
Oh, and there were several of those where it was like, what planet are we on?
Yeah.
You're claiming that you're on the right side of that issue?
Yeah. So basically, I only point that out is because the only thing that kept that narrative, that whole like what truth might actually be, was dudes on the internet and chicks on the internet just doing this. Like what we're doing now, dude, all through COVID, man. That was like the big thing that kept people positive. It kept people just awake, and it constantly woke people up. So what I'm saying is, out of everybody, sure, politicians, they do their job, but are they really working as hard as we are? I feel like we deserve a position in higher government because we're doing all the work with just talking about truth and standing on our toes and calling things out when we see lies. And so I just wanted to point that out. Even Brett Weinstein believes it over us, all these podcasters out here. Yeah, they may be podcasters, but they're actually doing the Lord's work. And that was it. That's the only reason I wanted to play that, dude.
No. Can you play the first part of that again? I want to highlight something.
All right. Yep. Hold on. I also talked over that.
Traps about this thing that we're up against is not, it is playing a very sophisticated game.
All right, pause.
And it has learned
He never gives us the context in this part what that is. What does he mean by that? What is
so the trap part? I think that's actually my fault because Again, my producer sucks because it's me. But either way, the context behind it is just talking about the propaganda. So basically, they're just talking about propaganda and when they want to talk about people and when they want to lie. So the whole clip is just being like they set traps, but the only thing that takes away their little propaganda traps is people online and the freedom of speech, and that was it. So that was
Okay,
that was that point of that clip. You want to see it again?
Yep, play it again.
You got it.
Traps about this thing that we're up against is not, it is playing a very sophisticated game. And it has learned the lesson that what happens out in social media space and podcast space and all of that is very important. It learned the lesson of COVID, where it didn't think it was important, and then it turned out that what we did out here in, in pirate radio effectively was able to upend their garbage narrative and wake people up. In the last few days, we've seen.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. So he's basically pointing out like the thing that throws the regime, the machine, what throws a wrench in it is just people talking about truth. That's literally it. And it wouldn't be a big deal. They didn't think it was a big deal, but it is. And that's the white pill, man. It's because we get to do this.
Specifically because of underground radio.
Yeah, pirate radio, dude. That's
Pirate radio. He said it. That was great. And it's not even actually 100% applicable because it's a video as well, like we're doing right now.
Well, yeah,
but
obviously.
The pirate radio part. Yep.
Yeah.
They can't, and this circles all the way. This is why I wanted you to play it again. Circles all the way back to what I said, I don't know, what, 30, 40 minutes ago. The First Amendment, that if you can stop, and you can't, by the way, you can't. People will always find a way to circumvent your garbage rules on what we can and can't say. You're just not used to the fact that it's internet based and you're panicking. But we can send letters. You will not stop. The First Amendment, the fact that we can talk about what we want to talk about, and we will always be able to do it. We may have to reset an entire society, but it will be based on the fact that we're going to talk about what we want to talk about. And if you suck, we're going to tell you suck.
Amen. And we will shame you into oblivion. Dude, if Kamala wins and it's the apocalypse, I will fax you memes if that's the only way I can do it. We might be going back to faxing. Dude, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. Off the wire.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, I love it, dude. Anytime. Off the wire, it's 7 I forgot. It was 7, right? 7 Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, 7 Central, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, it's great.
Perfect,
it's fun.
dude. Awesome, dude. And I'll see you on these Twitter streets. Keep pumping the memes out. And save us all from this disaster that we're going through.
Oh, well, you know you're about to come on my show though, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I'll see you on your show. How about that? And everyone watching heard it, so there's no canceling me now.
It might be Tuesday, actually. Let me check.
All right, hit me up. I think I'm free Tuesday. Oh, look. Oh, yep. Now I'm free. How about that? Whatever I had planned, dinner with my wife. No, it's fine. Definitely, dude. And I'll just hit me up. Dude, thank you so much. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, bro. I loved it. I had a great time.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. All right, I'll see you later. Thank you, everybody, for joining in with the Pardonwell podcast. We're Pardonwell Live. Do your boy a solid, like and subscribe, you jabroni. We like to have fun over here. That was actually the first guest I've had on live. Been friends with Noel for a hot minute, and we kept going. Want to be on each other's podcasts, and wires got crossed. We're both building studios, obviously. We're both super sophisticated with our schedules. Never worked out. I'm glad I finally got him on. One of my absolute favorite people, not just in the world, but also online. Phenomenal follow. But you guys already know that, because most likely you don't know who I am. So if you want to get to know me better, you can go to pardonwell.com. All of my stuff's there. I know you're like, this podcaster sucks. But wait. Podcaster is like my side gig. I'm an artist and all that good stuff. That's technically my side gig too. If I could make money off anything I did, then I would just you wouldn't be seeing me. I'd be doing the fun things that I did. Anyway, I appreciate you guys all tuning in, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. And we will see you back here next Sunday, 8:30. And you'll probably see me on Off the Wire with the Cajun Libertarian. Guys, have a great week. Don't let it get too stressful. Share your memes while you can before we're faxing them. And try to love each other and bully a lefty. Anyway, God bless.